Okay, let's talk about how to write anything that's worth reading. How to write anything that's worth the time and energy of the audience or the readers reading. Basically, it is a question of how to write with your own voice, how to write with your own style, with a unique, unmistakable you style. And this is a question that comes up a lot for me. I hear a lot of budding writers and authors, people who love to write, but who are struggling with finding their own voice and feeling a lot of doubt about the quality of their writing and whether what they're putting out there is good enough. Now, I want to give you some practical tips on how to move through these three phases and what's really important here if you want to move to the third phase. Um, in this day and age where it's all about algorithm and posting content online on social media and trying to like capture people's short attention span and trying to have like hooks to capture people's attention, um, getting lots of likes and engagements. This is actually, if we fall for this game, we are moving in the opposite direction of finding our own voice, finding the depth of our core essence, and finding and being able to write something that's worth reading. If we fall for this game, we're moving in the complete opposite direction. Because finding your own voice is about being true to yourself. It's about being in touch with and being so connected with that which is authentic and true and real and raw for you. It's not about catering to the masses. It's not about people pleasing. It's not about saying what you think people want to hear. It's not about impressing people. It's not about getting a lot of likes or engagement. So that's the first thing I would say. And then the second thing is if you're using ChatGPT or AI programs to write for you, you are also moving in the opposite direction of finding your own voice. This is really interesting. I was an English teacher for many years, and I read thousands of student essays in that time. And I have been working as a writing mentor for thought leaders and conscious entrepreneurs writing their legacy level books. I've read a lot of writing. And one thing that I do really well is I always have this ability to tune in to the music and the rhythm behind each piece of writing. So there are words on the page, but there's also the energy behind that word. There is that music, that cadence, that tonality behind each piece of writing, even though it's not like music, but there's always that music that you may not be able to touch it, but you can feel it. As a reader, I feel it. So when you use ChatGPT to come up with a piece of writing for you or to take your seed idea and write something for you into like a complete piece of writing and then you post it and share it. First of all, you lose touch with your own inner music. You lose touch with this depth of your soul, this cadence, this rhythm, this pace that your soul wants to express. But also, ChatGPT has its own music. So the thing is, anytime, any single time I read a piece of writing online, on Instagram, on social media, someone posted on Substack or Medium, I always spot it when it's been written or even revised by ChatGPT. There is this cadence, this music that's unmistakably AI. It's not human. And personally, I lose a little bit of respect for whoever is writing that. I'm not saying you should not use ChatGPT. I use it for my work in different ways, helping me come up with like solutions and doing lots of different research, or even condensing stuff to 2,200 characters for Instagram. But I want you to like have a feel for this. When you read a piece of writing, have a feel for the music, the rhythm, the cadence, the tonality behind it. And if you use ChatGPT, that is lost. That is lost. And you will gradually lose your ability, this inner ear to tune in and to hear that. When you're writing something that's worth reading, it's beyond the words. It's like I'm pointing at the moon. I'm using my finger to point at the moon. The words are the finger. But what I'm pointing at is not the words. What I'm pointing at is the moon, the essence of what you are writing, the message that you want to convey to the readers. That's the moon. That's the energy behind the words. That's beyond the words. Do you want to have a feel for that? And the greatest gift that you can give to your audience is this transmission of the consciousness that you are writing from. This is most important. It's your piece of writing, however long or short that is a transmission of this level of consciousness that you are at, the perspective that you are seeing things from, the understanding that you have gained, the embodiment level that you are at. And when a reader reads that, what they receive first and foremost is this level of consciousness. So if you're using AI or ChatGPT to do most of your transmission for you, then the transmission doesn't come from your consciousness anymore. It comes from some other artificial consciousness. So the gift is lost in the process, right? You have a gift, but it's being tampered with, and the consciousness, the original consciousness is no longer there. So the gift is being taken away from the readers. That's why it's no longer worth reading. So yeah, that's what I have would love to share with you in terms of how to write something that's worth reading.